All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story, let's get into a strongman story for you guys today about a strongman competitor named J.F. Carone, and a feat of strength that he did recently that's been going viral and trending. So J.F. Carone is currently Canada's strongest man. It's a title that he's won 7 times now. He's also competed at the World's Strongest Man competition, his highest placing being 4th at the most recent 2019 rendition of the World's Strongest Man. But this recent feat of strength that he did was very impressive. So you can see here on this clip from his Instagram page, what he's doing here is withstanding about 922 pounds of force in each arm as 2 cars accelerating in different directions increase their horsepower and attempt to pull his arms apart. Now, J.F. Carone alludes to the fact that this is kind of paying homage to Louis Cyr, the legendary strongman. Some people refer to him as like the godfather of modern day strongmen. And back in the day, he did a hold where he held supposedly a 1,430 pound hold. But instead of cars, it was horses with Louis Cyr. So this is kind of paying homage to that legendary feat of strength. This was back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s that we're talking about with Louis Cyr, and the modern day version here with J.F. Carone in 2019. Just crazy to see it on video is the most impressive part, and probably why it's going viral. And I'm not entirely sure what metric they use to actually gauge what the actual pound of force was here. But again, just a very impressive feat of strength. Very, very impressive to see it on video. And definitely something I wanted to include in this video because this is Nick Strength and Power. I wanted to include a powerful feat of strength in this video. Now, next up in bodybuilding news, I want to talk about Dexter Jackson here. So Dexter Jackson put up a post on Instagram recently announcing that he's actually turning 50 next week. And basically this post that he put up on Instagram, he talks about the Olympia this past year, how he did at that Olympia. But he goes on to say in this post that he's going to see us next year, and that next year he's going to improve upon the physique that he brought this year. So I thought that this was a pretty noteworthy announcement here because he's essentially announcing that he's going to continue competing in 2020, and he really shows no signs of slowing down despite the fact that he's about to turn 50 years old in a week. And I've said this before, but Dexter Jackson will probably go down in history as one of, if not the greatest bodybuilder in history from a sheer standpoint of all the things he's been able to achieve. Even though he only won the Olympia 1 time, and the record for winning the Olympia is 8, Dexter Jackson has won more professional titles than any other bodybuilder in the sport. As far as I know, he's competed longer and in more consecutive Olympias and more consecutive shows than any other bodybuilder in the IFBB. At the age of 50 years old, to continue to compete at the Olympia, just extremely impressive. And I'm actually happy to see that he's coming back. Because even though his placing at the 2019 Mr. Olympia probably wasn't what he was expecting it to be, the fact that he was 49 years old at that Olympia, the fact that it was like his 20th Olympia that he's competed in, and the fact that he's still placing top 10, and he's probably still going to place top 10 next year, I think is very impressive and very noteworthy that he says here that he's going to be back next year. I think, nobody wants to really see Dexter Jackson retire. I want to see how far Dexter Jackson can push it, and he's probably going to push it further and longer than any other bodybuilder ever will be able to. So shout out to Dexter Jackson. Best of luck to him, and seeing him compete in 2020 at the age of 50 years old. He really is a trailblazer for longevity in the sport of bodybuilding, and he's really setting the bar pretty high for what bodybuilders can do in terms of competing at an older age. Now, next up in the news, we have Kai Greene seemingly embracing his role as an Instagram troll. So Kai Greene put up this post that seemed to stir up a lot of discussion, and a lot of people actually didn't like this post, putting up his own rendition of the "going to tell my kids this was" meme with a picture of him and the caption, "Gonna tell my kids this was Mr. Olympia." Now, clearly, this was a meme and this was just a joke, but the implication here obviously is that Kai Greene should have won the Olympia, or Kai Greene is an uncrowned Mr. Olympia. And Kai Greene sharing this meme, or possibly even creating this meme, had a lot of people talking. Because quite frankly, I think a lot of people believe had Kai Greene competed this year, or even possibly at last year's Mr. Olympia, he would have won the Mr. Olympia. So a lot of people feel that Kai Greene has nobody to blame but himself for not having a Mr. Olympia title. I think Honestly, if Kai Greene had competed at the 2019 Mr. Olympia, I think he would have been the favorite to win this year's Mr. Olympia. And he never really did give any clear reason why he didn't compete at the 2019 Mr. Olympia. So only time will tell. I don't think we're ever going to see Kai Greene come back and compete at the Mr. Olympia. I think if he ever was going to, it was going to be 2019. That was really the golden opportunity for him. So as far as winning an Olympia title, I don't see it being in the cards for Kai. As much as I would like to see him come back at this point, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think the fans should not get their hopes up anymore at this point. Kai Greene's probably not going to compete on a pro stage ever again. But let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about Kai Greene posting this meme and what you think he was implying by posting this meme. If you want to be Mr. Olympia, you've got to compete at the Mr. Olympia. Now, next up in the news, we have a story about Josh Lenartowicz. As you guys may or may not know, Josh was unable to compete at the 2019 Mr. Olympia due to a health condition that he had, which actually turned out to be a brain tumor. Now, recently on Instagram, Josh posted a video explaining that he would actually need to get a second surgery to fix the situation with this brain tumor. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that video from Josh Lenartowicz here so you guys can hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Just want to let you guys know that it all went really well as far as I'm told. So that's a huge weight lifted off my shoulder. And I'm really thankful for all the support of my friends and family. And the staff here, Michael, my surgeon, and Greg, the anaesthetist, and the nurses. So really, really thankful and appreciative that things went well. Hope everyone's great, and I look forward to getting back to myself again.
So definitely wishing a speedy recovery for Josh. I hope everything turns out okay with his second surgery. And hopefully everything as far as the brain tumor is concerned is as benign as he originally thought it was going to be. I believe he said he had some family history of this. I believe his brother had a similar issue, and it ended up being a pretty benign situation. So hopefully the best, and this works out for Josh Lenartowicz and he's able to compete again. But most importantly, he has his health when this is all said and done. Now, finally, in the news, today is November 23rd, which means this is the first day of the 2019 Mr. Golden Era entry window. So if you don't know what the 2019 Mr. Golden Era is, I've been posting about it for the past couple months now. It's my online bodybuilding competition with the goal of finding the most classic physique on the internet right now. So you guys can send in your submissions between today, Saturday the 23rd, and next Saturday, November 30th. So that is the deadline window to send in your entry video. So you have one full week to do it. So all you have to do to enter is go to my website, nickstrengthandpower.com, go to the store tab, go to the Mr. Golden Era entry tab, pay that entry fee, and then record your posing video and send in your posing video. Your posing video has to include all 8 mandatory bodybuilding poses, but in addition to those 8 mandatory bodybuilding poses, also the vacuum pose, the crucifix pose, and the victory pose in an attempt to make this a more classic competition, because we are in fact looking for the most classic physique. And I think those 3 poses are really critical for someone with a classic physique to be able to pull off. So once you have filmed your entry video, it has to have a proof of date in the video, whether that be your cell phone or a newspaper, your computer screen, whatever. Then you can email that video to me at nickstrengthandpower@gmail.com. You can attach it to the PayPal payment with your $20 entry fee. And again, I want to remind you guys that every single cent from those entry fees is going directly back towards the prize money for this competition. So there will be prize money. My goal this year is a minimum of $5,000 prize money to be distributed amongst the top 6 of this competition. There's a trophy. There's a free custom weightlifting belt with your name and Mr. Golden Era on it. There will also be a portrait made of the winner by Physique Art for You. I'll put a link to their Instagram page right here. But most importantly, once I have all the entries, I'm going to go through all the entries and I'm going to narrow it down to a top 6. Now, I'm probably going to have hundreds, if not thousands of entries. So it's probably going to take me a couple days to go through them all. So after the 30th, probably sometime in that first week of December, I'm going to upload the top 6 video for the 2019 Mr. Golden Era. And then the most important part of all this is you guys vote on the competition. You guys pick the winner. You guys pick the top 6 placings. So I'm going to upload a video. It's going to have all 6 competitors in it. They're going to be labeled competitor A, B, C, D, etc. So I'm not going to have their names. And then when you go to my channel, you can vote. There's going to be a poll with competitor A, B, C, and D, and whoever gets the most votes, that will determine their ranking in the top 6. So most votes, second most votes, third most votes, and so on. That's how the top 6 will be determined. So you guys will 100% decide the winner of this competition. So you guys will decide which physique is most classic, and you guys get the opportunity to define what you think a classic physique is. So I know I'm really excited for this. The day's just getting started. I've already got some really good entries so far. So I'm really excited for the rest of the week to see what kind of entries come in. I think it's going to be a really good competition. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think you guys are definitely going to enjoy the voting process. So that wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please share this video, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.